So I'm going to try this again. So I had somebody asking me just to detail out this little hands and knees, all four spinal articulation stretch. A lot of times it's referred to as cat-cow in yoga or cat stretch, or whatever. So I'm going to go over briefly just the details that my friend was asking me about, client actually. So when we're on hands and knees, for those of you who can be on hands and knees, we have this tendency to kind of get heavy into the joints and just drop into our shoulders, into our spine, into our ribs, into our neck, into our hips, and literally just dropping down into the floor, as opposed to lifting up out of our skeleton. Now you can have your hands a little wider than shoulder width apart, and a lot of times I advise people to take their hands a little forward of their shoulders due to the tendency to shift forward and then put a hyperflexion into the wrists. Or you can have your hands directly under your shoulders. I like to have my wrist kind of in line, the heel of my hand in line with my armpit, if you will, and I like to take my hands a little wider. It's just better for my shoulder. And I like to rotate those elbow points back a little bit. And the idea here is to feel the floor underneath you and feel the floor supporting and lifting you. And find that place of a neutral spine, right? So this is an extension of the spine beyond neutral. This is a flexion of the spine beyond neutral, right? So this is spinal flexion. This is spinal extension into neutral. This is spinal extension beyond neutral, or a hyperextension, or a back arch. So what I want to do is find that place where I can stay lifted out of my joints and pull my skeleton, tissues, muscles, everything together to try to find my best neutral and center that. And I want to feel that I'm lifting internally, my energy, as if I can just float and levitate off the floor right now. And I'm going to start to articulate my spine into flexion with my lumbar or my lower back in a rear tilt, tucking under, lifting up, pulling my ribs toward the ceiling, middle back, upper back, head goes last. Now our tendency here is to shift forward. I'm going to try to keep my hips right here over my knees. And then I'm going to start to lengthen my spine through extension, starting with my neck, which is part of the spine, the cervical spine, trying to lengthen the tips of the ears forward. The collarbones open forward between the shoulders. The breastplate looks forward. The ribs open toward the floor. Sitting bones open toward the ceiling, but I'm keeping my abdominal energies aware of what's going on to support the lower back. Think of the sitting bones aiming toward each other now and toward the back of your calves as you start to flex from the lumbar. I'm going to just rearrange here so I can get more of an opening in my shoulders here. Wrapping my shoulder blade energy around to my armpits as I lift. Feels so good. Inhale, lengthening the tips of my ears forward, the crown of my head. And my nose tip is going to go forward. The rest of my spine is going to follow into that extension, but I'm keeping that lift. See here, I don't want to drop. I don't want to shift back. I want to find that place where I can articulate through my spine without dropping or loading into my joints excessively. I want to lift out of that load into my joints and feel like I'm floating rather than loading through those joints. So I don't know where Rocky went. So I hope that all makes sense. I'm going to review the video and see if I'm going to share it or not. But any questions, just find me, okay? You can email me, text me, private message me on any of my social media platforms. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon doing some little short classes and workshops. Ciao for now.